This is about acknowledging the history of whatnot, because I think in order for you to fully understand the sacrifices that were made and to appreciate where you're at now, and also to work on your craft, you have to understand the history of a thing. And I think there's too many artists now in the urban gospel music scene which don't understand the history of the urban gospel scene prior to them in the UK. There's so much battles that had to be won in order for them to be able to do what they do now.
Yeah, man.
And like I said, half the names we've already mentioned, none of them will know.
Bro,
and it's crazy for me.
It's literally bodies. There's bodies on the ground.
Affinity Xtra. Be extra.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and do not necessarily represent the views of Affinity Xtra.
Yeah, boys, this is Roger Moore here on Affinity Xtra, celebrating gospel music of Black origin. I'm here on my Edge show. Yeah, I've got a Edge show, and I haven't really done much for 2025. If anything, this is going to be the first one I do in 2025. And I'm alongside Marx, one of our fellow presenters here on the station, Affinity Xtra. And something which I'm really passionate about, even through the Edge shows, people know in terms of Black music history, and we look at America and the importance of having conversation and documenting the conversations, because we're so good to talk about things offline but not online. But what I see a lot in when it comes to music is it's Michael Jackson's story, or the superhero story that gets talked about. Their journey, but not the people who never got the million record. They don't talk about the journeys of the people who made the scene at the time, which may not be the people who made it, but a lot of people that do make it within our whether it's UK, we were in music full stop, are the people that are on top of shoulders. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about the shoulders that people lean upon, the people that took the first smoke for what they did. Now, both myself and Marx, not trying to give away our age, but we've got big pick there, so we're big man, yeah. we got big pin that can chat back to us. I'm saying that mine's at uni, so I'm even bigger. We both grew up in church. Marx, I want to talk too much of his history, but I think he knew T.
Yeah, new T.
Yeah. He got the Pentecostal feeling. I missed out on that one. But I went to Wesleyan, but we both went to churches in our teenage years, black-led churches, that were part of a scene of gospel scene, which was predominantly choirs. You know what I'm saying, unrelatable music. But at the same time, I would say we both enjoyed music that wasn't done in church, unless Mark's gonna tell me he was originally a choir soloist. I know business.
No, not at all, boy.
Soprano, just thinking,
it was definitely none of that.
Yeah. Him laughing, you know, he's trying to envision himself thinking, do the solo, or you failed. But was he a musician in church?
It depends how you look at it.
Like confession.
So in my church, I wasn't a musician. Funny enough.
Okay.
But I learned to play the drums from early.
Okay.
And even though I didn't play in my church, I was part of missions that played. Where I went abroad.
Yeah.
And so I played as part of bands abroad.
Okay. So you can hold down drum.
So I can hold down the two things on the drum. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But my particular church, we were very blessed with musicians, and when I went in there, the roster was just crazy. So there was no, so I didn't even got involved in that. I did my little piece in the corner. I was like in charge of the overhead projector in my church.
Yeah.
From a very young age, for like 15.
Yeah.
So I did that, but any musician side of thing was always done internationally. So,
okay, cool. No, that's cool. Got that. I think now 100%. I think for me, I didn't like music as such when as a youth. As people, I've publicly said, business will be, you know me, whatever. You know, I was into football, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, everything was football. And when I was at senior school, rugby, football. And as I got, you know what I mean, got older, but that dumped a bass guitar on me, and I had to learn to play the bass guitar because church had no musicians. I didn't really like it at first, but it's my cousin. I keep saying this story. I'm going to put the receipts out there. My cousin, who's not a Christian, had Sounds of Blackness, went down his house, had an Atari ST, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? You know what I say? You know, Mark, know them ones there. When I said Atari ST and music, everybody knows that. And sampling on my Commodore Amiga started the journey, which we did do a Tech Extra show. We talked. We picked up my Commodore Amiga and start bawling and crying and go through the whole emotions of our childhood with that one. So we've talked about the tech of our childhood and whatever, but ultimately we're in church now, seeing the rise of the likes of urban music. Yeah, massive rise from a UK perspective. Jungle. Or was you more garage than jungle?
You know, I enjoyed both. I was obviously blessed enough to see both scenes. I knew a lot of the guys that were heavily involved in both scenes, and I liked both of them.
Yeah, man. No, jungle was like for me like the thing, man. You know that. You know what I mean? Like all the We Are the Monkeys remixes and all that business, man. You know what I mean? The original man. You know, and the ones that go like that, Still Bad Not, and UK Apache, General Levi. Like these people say them commercial hits, but them guys, you know, really Shy Effects in it. Yeah, these guys and stuff that were really influential. And on the rap side, you know, let's be real, the Tupac, the Biggies were going on with things. Just before that, you had like the NWAs that people were into. I was more into Tupacs and Biggies and the Brats and all them things in my after about 16, 17 years old and all that business when I was 16, 17. Now, when you looked into Christian music, it had none of that. None of that. So your problem is they lost a generation just because they wasn't relatable via music, and it kept this choir sound, but then we all wanted some other sound.
Yeah, we wanted something. The thing is, we were very aware of what was out there in terms of the music, the urban music side of stuff, even as part of the church. And for a young generation at the time, you know, the hip hop and all that kind of stuff was the sound that we naturally just drew to. And as you said, in the church, at one point there was none of that taking place. Even my first introduction to Christian rap, if I was to think of it, was probably I'm trying to remember the name of the artist. I don't think it was Yolanda Adams. It was someone from that older generation.
Was it Clark Sisters?
No, it was a solo singer.
Solo singer.
The track was, oh gosh, it's gonna bug me. I can see their face. I can hear the track. The track's "Renew Your Mind." That's
okay.
Helen Baylor.
Okay.
Helen Baylor. Renew Your Mind, and she had two versions of that song. And the remix version, there was a rapper that did a 16 bar.
Okay.
And because obviously at the time I was exposed to obviously your, like you said, the choir tracks, your Kirk Franklins, and you know, your Fred Hammonds, and you go even further back, your Ron Kenollys and all those kind of dudes. That's how I first got introduced to rap in its essence, was that Helen Baylor track with that rapper on it for the 16 bar. I still don't know who the rapper was. I've never, because I heard that track younger, and I never, into my older age, went back.
We might have to revisit that information, man. You know what I'm saying?
So it was one of those things, and then he went on from there. You know, I just was fortunate enough after hearing that track to be going to a new T church that actually had a number of the UK gospel rappers, which I consider to have been the original pioneers of UK gospel rap personally. And we'll get into that conversation. But yeah, a lot of the guys that I've considered to have been pioneers of the scene went to the same church that I went to. And then that interest, that hunger, that desire to be involved in the urban side grew from there. It was good.
So that's interesting what you raised there, because something that, you know, we're going to be over controversial, but what I get tired of, I was doing a product, was doing an advisory thing for a production company, as I usually do. But you get dragged into a thing by episode. Said, yeah, Roger, I want some input. Okay, great. Let's get input. And I remember when they wanted to do a UK gospel perspective, and it was from Bibles afterwards. They looked at things. And also, I went to a university and I was talking to and there's a guy who writes about UK rap, and he starts from Bible. Now, I simply Andy. Me and him can talk, we can laugh, we can joke. You know what I'm saying? I talked to him for a while, but me and him can sit down and reason for ages. You know what I'm saying? Man has some respect to Simply Andy, man. You know what I'm saying? My brother that's, half Ghanaian, half Nigerian, you know what I'm saying? And the only reason why I know that is because man make up pure jokes on the stages at Geo Live. So big up to Simply Andy, man. Really instrumental. He used his influence and everything to do some mighty things in that period. But that was not the beginning of the scene, and it's nothing on Simply Andy. I thought that was an amazing marker. I think it's an amazing marker for a new generation. You know what I'm saying? Almost as a marker, a good marker for the grime generation. But UK rap started before grime. You know what I'm saying? And UK urban was fighting before that, not thriving, fighting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because we had to fight, and we want to just talk about the fight before Bible's Bible. And talk about the faces and heads. And what I want to do is shout out to people who were part of that scene. You may disagree our perspective, but come and talk your thing, because there's too many amans our age group that are stuck, not saved, not going to church, and vexed because they've been dashed away by the scene, sitting down, doing certain things in these churches, serving the community in a great faithful way, but don't want to talk about your lived experience, being instrumental in setting the scene for all what's going on right now. UK rap is almost as big as UK vocals, if not bigger than UK vocality. The only thing that trumps it is because the worship scene gets looked after. In you know what I mean, by the big labels, and we overeat that. But UK rap scene is massive compared
I
to.
mean, can you imagine if in the UK there was a label lacking integrity that was focused on the urban side of music?
Yeah,
it'd be crazy.
Don't go.
You know what I'm saying? Or even if integrity decide they're going to do a U-turn and say, you know what, let's just get a lot of the urban artists involved, the rappers, the R&B singers, all that kind of stuff. Because the scene is massive, and that scene is, as I say, right for the picking. If a label wants to step in and do that kind of stuff,
and the label needs to come in with the right attitude, and that's why I don't like major labels touching our art forms before they're ready. That's why, like, the Motown had to be the right space to fully grow black music before the major labels start to take it seriously. And we can't grow this in integrity. We have to grow this together outside. We have to grow this in a Reach Records. You know what I'm saying? We can't grow this out. And that's my biggest issue with the UK gospel scene, is that the urban scene is that so much of our egos have stopped us coming together and growing it together. You know what I'm saying? And we're like, boy, why'd you got chest, I got chest because I was there. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big man in these things. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So don't get it twisted. I'll talk the thing, people. This is Edge. So I'll talk my thing. If you want to challenge me, challenge me.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying? Come out here. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, the end of the day still, we're not just going to talk about the fluffy stuff. We're going to talk about the real stuff, the real issues, the silos that were created. So we had gangs outside the church, and we had silos created by belief systems within Christianity that kept us from working together. And going further, from working and really truly co-laboring.
I co-sign that because, like you said, if anybody wants to disagree, they can disagree. I'm open to discussion. I'm open to debate it.
Want some?
But a lot of people know I started off True Life Promotions a number of years ago, and the sole reason I started off True Life Promotions is because I was tired of seeing the same faces, the same people guarding the gates, and not letting a lot of the people that I considered, because don't get me wrong, there's a lot of big names, or what we all consider to be the big names in UK gospel right now, which are doing a great job. But my problem is this: that for years I kept seeing the same big names, awards. I see the same artists were racking up 5-6 awards. Events, I've seen the same artists on every flyer and all the time, and I knew there was hundreds of artists which are putting just as much effort into their craft, that were staying up just as late at night writing their lyrics and making beats here, right?
Yeah.
But they were not given the time of day. And that's the reason I started True Life Promotions, because I wanted to create a platform which provided a platform
100%
for these artists to say, you know what, I don't care if you've got a big name. I see what you got. What you've got is good. And I recognize that. And I want to provide an opportunity for you to do that. And like I said, I was looking for a way to break past all the gatekeepers.
What year did you start off True Life? Was it like early, is it like 2012, 2013?
Again, officially in terms of like launched it as a company, I did that in 2013 or 2012, 2013. But I was doing the work that True Life does. I was doing that on the scene for like going back into the 90s. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So I've been doing this thing for a long time, and when I talk I talk the thing because I've seen the thing. Do you know what I'm saying? And while other people bury their head in the sand and saying this, that, and the other, I'm just going to tell you straight. Like you said, there was a lot of things happening, a lot of people doing things which stopped the industry from growing in the way. UK gospel should be a lot further than it is right now. It's in a good place now, but it should be a lot further than it is right now. If it wasn't for the gatekeepers, if it wasn't for the people that were trying to hold the wealth in their hands as they know it, if it wasn't for those which were basically looking to push 2 or 3 people in rather than saying, let's see what we can do to work and grow as a community. And then you'll get those people, and I'm sure there's going to be people listening to this disagreeing, saying, oh, there's plenty of us, we were trying to work and make things happen. Yeah, you're trying to work and make things happen, but for the same people. What about those which were grinding, which were trying to reach out, which you wouldn't give time of day because you believed they didn't have a following? Well, that following can grow if they had the right people supporting them and helping them.
Something that I will say is that one thing that I keep on seeing in America is that, in America, their success is not done by creatives on the stage. His success was created and developed by the creatives off the stage. And our biggest problem in the UK gospel, now singing and rapping, is the creatives on the stage want to be the leaders. The biggest ego that I faced when I was doing what I was doing and rising up, and I didn't really wear things on my chest that very big, but I ended up in a lot of hip hop arenas, a lot of rap arenas, and it was like, how does Roger qualify to be in this space? Now, unfortunately, I'm a church boy, so I haven't got no gang affiliation to my name. Unfortunately, I'm a bass player, so I'm not really a producer in their light. I don't use MPCs and stuff at the time, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, at the same time, I couldn't put 2 words together to make a rap lyric, so I've never done stage ministry. So I never, and I work from a certain postcode, you know what I'm saying? So I was never part of that. I never was accepted. Never been accepted. And people go like, "Oh, Roger, letting things off." I'm just being honest, and it was like that exclusivity mentality. And I want to be open about this. But what really helped the not helped. I don't know if it's the right word. That was that really came against community rise. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna talk about this, because this talk will help this generation not make the same mistakes that we made back in the day. You know what I mean? 100%. So like for me now, still, like Marx, my work goes back into the 90s. For goodness sake, man, when I remember doing a youth group thing at university. Sugar, how old was I then? You know what I mean? I was about 18, 19 doing concerts, and I'm using Cowell Draw to do the flyer.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody, you know what I'm saying? Cowell Draw and using the dot matrix printer to print out my flyers. Well, dot matrix. I remember college doing a Street Fighter competition. I'm printing out Ryu, you know what I'm saying? And a dot matrix printed, and it was either 9 dot and you remember 24 dot. You know what I'm saying? And get the ribbons out there. So I'm going back from them times and designing my own flyers from then, and And just working in the youth group, just working it. And I sampled, I remember doing a concert interview and I sampled the songs. I sampled John A. Groove thing. You know what I'm saying? And the choir did something to it. And we do all them sort of stuff. We do that from about 60s, 70s and so on, 90s. And, you know, and it all comes, looking back, that's where them skill sets that I have today, that's where it all started for me. Developed. So I really do appreciate that. And that's the urban scene in the 90s. Us guys, our generation, really got in our bedrooms working out skill sets. Nobody's teaching us. There's no, because church did not accept our skill set to develop. Now musicians developed at church because they would play on the morning and the evening, and they had to develop. We had to develop on our own dime. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We had to do stuff, and we almost had to be on the naughty step doing this. You know what I'm saying? So it's really emphasizing a real struggle in church, growing up in church, trying to do rap, trying to do something different.
I mean, I had the privilege of being part of a rap group in my early teens, and for you to understand when we say that,
what's the name of the group?
Huh?
Do you remember the name of the group?
Oh yeah, we were called the Rapper Caddics.
Okay.
We were called the Rapper Caddics. We was part of what was called the Rap Academy.
Okay, cool.
And then that
Back
was
then.
that was started by one of the people that that I consider.
Who's one of the people? Are you allowed to say his name?
Yeah, Gifted. I'll say it loud and proud.
Okay,
Gifted.
cool.
Mr. Gilbert Yaboa, government name and that. He started Rap Academics, and then he ended up working alongside Watchmen as well. But the brainchild idea was his.
Muscles. What you mean?
I know that because I was there when it birthed. I worked for him in his house, doing office stuff. So I know when I say this.
So that would have been probably that's been definitely mid-90s.
Yeah,
mid-90s, 100%. And you was a young teenager.
Yeah,
you know
I was.
saying?
Learning craft, watching these guys. You're going back to the days of like DAT tapes and all them kind of things back in the time. So yeah, like I said, I was part of this rap group, but you have to realize that this was a period in church where, the idea of doing any rap in church, in many churches, was still like unheard of. Do you know what I'm saying? These are the times where like 90% of the women in church had
hats.
The big hats.
Big hats,
Do you know what I'm saying? The men had to wear all shirts and stuff.
Yeah, man.
So we're going back where we had to really fight the system to show, actually, no, we can glorify God through this means as well. It's not just about choirs. It's not just about this boxed nature of this boxed way of doing gospel music. And unfortunately, we had a pastor that was very open to it, and like he allowed us to do certain things, even when certain members of the church would turn up their nose. And it literally, there was a lot of stuff like that. There was little pockets in different churches where people similar to us were trying to burst through and bring change.
Yeah. Was there so in Birmingham, and I believe it was, this is where I was, my brother was driving, so I would have been about 18, 19. Yeah, I was 18, 19. Yeah, I was pushing my brother's driving, and my brethren Steve, I think I was 18. Yeah, I sure was 18. And we had an iconic event led by, and then it was pioneered. It was in a club. You know what I'm saying? The first club, club event, Christian club event. You know what I mean? I know there were ones before, but this was like more like an urban one where you had a rap group on the stage, and the rap group was Shekinah. You had like Denny, because it was half rap, half reggae at the time. You know what I'm saying? And they had the sample, and it's inspiring to me. The man inspired me, man. They're on the stage doing their things and whatever. So that for me was absolutely, that would have been around about 94. Sugar. I'm just working it out now. That was about 1994. So we're seeing in Birmingham, I would emphasize that things were going around the country. People was there, and we're starting to stand up around about 94, and then she kind of moved over the next few years and had events which included rappers on there. My bro Rico was instrumental with the likes of really, and also recording dance artists like Witness and Spanner. You know what I'm saying? Spanner come out and Spanner just blew up. You know what I'm saying? With some big tunes, Mr. Blair and all them things there at the time. And then also when I started seeing London and rappers started to sneak in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's when I saw the likes of Gifted as a rapper because he would come up to Birmingham and perform and so on. And crazy. But was there any iconic events back in them early stages outside of Evangelical, which was that's where the urban scene started?
Yeah, in London there definitely was. There was a number of things going on. Again, because I had been working so closely with Gifted, I was exposed to these things pretty well. One that always jumps to mind was one that eBay Giant Killer put on. And I can't remember. I think the show was called No Way Out or something like that. He did a show and it was just pure rappers. There might have been singers, but I mean, my head was turned that day, and all I remember was the rappers. So you had all like Warrior, MC Bold, and all them man, SOE and Jahaz. Everybody that you thought of at the time was there. And
so that was more about 98, around about that period. 90,
me and my group, we had an opportunity to perform there as well, and that for me was the night where I realized just how great the community was amongst the guys which were trying to like make this a thing in the UK, which are trying to say, you know, we're here. You know, we've got a sound. We can reach the people that you guys can't reach with your choirs and stuff like that. And that's something that really stood out to me. And there was something else as well. It wasn't so much underground thing because that was pretty public. So Gifted did a show in conjunction with the BBC.
Okay. Gifted.
At that time, so it was him and Watchmen basically were going to prisons at that time, and they were doing a lot of prison ministry with the rapping and the reggae. And I think the BBC somehow got a wind of it, and they wanted to do this show basically where they followed him around, and they ended up doing this event in Dingle's nightclub in London. And Tim Westwood was there, and like all these people, and they had some other artists. I think Warrior was there. There was another female rapper. I think her name was Black Cherry or Black Grape, and then Royal Priesthood were there.
Yeah, man.
So like there were some dudes there, and this was recorded and put on the BBC. Do you know what I'm saying? And then there was a load of others which weren't part of the show but were there in support of what was going on. It was nice because at the end of the show they did like an open mic freestyle. So Bear Man was just jumping on the mic and just
of course.
But yeah, those are the two things that kind of stuck out to me.
There? Huh? Shabazz was there in it.
He might have been actually. He might have been. I can't remember. But like I said, there was a whole heap of man. And it was really good. And then like I said, Westwood was there, and he really at that time Westwood actually started playing some of Watchmen and Gifted's tracks on his shows. And he was really feeling it. So he really would reach out to Gifted saying, look, anytime you got something, send it to me and whatnot.
Big up.
So regardless of all the bad press Westwood is
getting,
he did actually champion a lot of like early UK gospel rap and reggae. And he was like, really just like getting behind it and feeling it. And that was a great endorsement because obviously coming from someone like Westwood at the time, who was probably considered the biggest UK rap DJ or the most well known at the time, was a big thing. So those are probably the two events I can think of that really jump out to me. And then obviously there was loads of other ones which kind of came along over the time.
Okay, calm. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I think that I think you mentioned a lot of names there, like Warrior, you know what I mean, Gifted, and so on, like Watchmen, and I can say, and again, me, Mark's like, you know, the end of the day, so you guys, we didn't link up until Affinity Xtra, you know what I mean, so we'll probably seen each other's works.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've probably seen you spare times before Affinity Xtra because like I was always up in Birmingham with Gifted and some of them other man. I know about the events that you held as well, which I attended a number of them, not knowing who the host was. You just find things out as years go on, innit? And here we are.
I'm a straight up ghost and probably say Marks. I think that sometimes, I think that's sometimes a major problem when you are a guy in the background
Yeah.
that nobody knows who you
That is
are.
you, yeah.
Nobody knows he's actually you. Everybody thought, GR Live was about,
Yeah, yeah.
50 other people. And it's not to take the claim for it. I think for me, a lot of times when you're having this creative world is that, when you just want to do the work and focus on it, there's a lot of people who want to take the claim of the win. When you see a footballer, when you do the hard work, and I think I saw Madueke score a goal the other day, and the ball was already literally in the goals, and he just tapped it in with 1 yard there. That is so typical and of a lot of people when it came to some of the last stuff. When you do things in the background, when it's about to go in, they're scoring a goal and getting the stats.
I definitely experienced that a number of times. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed being in the background, pulling the strings, because I like to see things happening in a certain way, and I knew what needed to be done. So I always wanted to be in the background. And there was times where I even allowed certain people to be more the face at the front,
of course,
so that they can do their thing. And like I had people turning up at events which I organised, thinking that it was somebody else that organised it, because I purposely pushed that person to be at the front. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. Yeah.
And again, I didn't take no beef or nothing with it, because my main thing was always to champion the scene and create platforms for people to do things. So even if it meant that the shine wasn't on me, as long as the shine was on what I wanted the shine to be on, which was who these artists are that nobody is talking about and stuff like that, I was happy to do my thing behind the scenes. So yeah.
Nah, that's calm. And I think that's definitely cool. So we are not some guys that have been ganging up together from the 90s, and we're gonna get better. We never really touched base till the first time. I remember giving a call when I was at my old studio, and it's about Affinity Xtra, and just after it started, I said, "Yo, Marx, what you saying, man?" You know what I'm saying? I talked, and but obviously we've seen all each other's work. So please, guys, don't think this is a two-man them from back in the day with two different backgrounds. He's St. Lucia, I'm St. Kitts in Jamaica. So there's no reason. He's a London Tottenham supporter that converted to Liverpool. I'm a Man United supporter, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
keep it about the music, yeah. Keep it about the music.
so we handle that in the next conversation. You know what I'm saying? I just say it as it is, people. I say it as, but I think that and then so we're having a scene, and we've seen a scene that's been influenced by guys on the ground, but we cannot deny the fact that basically we also got inspired by pioneers in the US. Now it's very, very hard for us to have access to US music, because distribution was only funneled through major labels. So the first label to really be supported was Cross Movements, and that was all in the 2000s, and that got the Integrity touch. And then that's when we in Lecrae, when I brought him over, had an album, Short is Real Talk, that was distributed by Cross Movements, but it wasn't a Cross Movements artist. It was just distributed by them. So Cross Movements was like the first kind of official one to go out there, and then Reach Records set up their own thing and got distribution within Europe. But before that, it was very, very, very hard to get your hands on rap music. We couldn't download, we couldn't go online. It's straight up physical copies. But they had platforms like Bush Shop, you know what I'm saying, and different platforms in America, which we bought it through. My good friend of mine, DJ Zorro, he come along when he come back to Quiet and he got back into DJing. He just really, at a time in the early 2000s, you saw explosion more into hip hop with the lamp modes, Cross Movements, and so on. But before that, there were people before that, and you have to say, the most, and I would have to say, if you talk to majority of rappers, the most, everybody will mention Corey and Precise. I don't think anybody could mention anybody. You know what I mean?
I would love to know how many of the UK rap guys right now, drill, rap, grime, whatever you do, if I tell them Corey, Red, and Precise, actually know who them guys are. I really would love to know, to see how many of them know. Those guys are, listen. They set the things, man. They set the things.
I know people who are not Christians that had access to their stuff. Is it Mark of the East?
Mark of the East.
Mark of the East, man. That's all. Now I went into rap for rap sake, but I know, say, like, I got people that were coming to my football team, and Market East was the
thing playing.
Was the thing playing, man.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how do you get access to that music when it wasn't officially distributed, but people had access to Market East?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was an artist called. There were a couple of tapes. I remember CLC would sneak things, but you can't deny that for me, a massive impact was Goatee Records.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Goatee Records with so the official guys was like Goatee Records with Toby Mac, with Christafari. I've got the video that they released at the same time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
We're
yeah,
explaining
yeah.
what they were trying to do, Grit and Christafari Grits and Out of Eden at the time, and I was so into that model. Yeah, I got it. I thought, yo, but we still to this day, I haven't seen it happen in the UK.
Yeah, it's still not happening in the same way in the UK. I mean, I'm just when I used to get all that music, like you said, like the Corey Van Precise Bar, and I used to get it early. Funny enough, because I was just fortunate. Like I found this guy in Stratford. He had a music shop, and he had every other kind of music, but he used to have this one little line in the corner which just had
Rap
gospel stuff.
I heard about the shop. Who had that shop?
It was called CD Bar. I think you started off with one shop, and then they maybe opened. I think they opened one in Brixton.
Okay, cool.
I think
Christian shop?
Yeah, no, Christian shop.
Yeah,
it's a secular shop.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
But
yeah.
the guy had one little line where he had maybe 3-4 or the gospel rap things on there.
Yeah.
And
And you know who was bigger than it? Crossway Music.
yeah.
You know, they used to go and different, and they used to help distribute it around the place, man. And they were quite instrumental. It wasn't Crossway Music. It's like a white guy and an Asian lady, and they go around and they go to events all around the country, bro. And they really were. From what?
I think you're right, because I seem to remember them approaching me and my guys like back in the day.
They were passionate about it, bro. They were really passionate about, with gospel and distributing it. And they'll broker deals with guys in the States. So you send it to them and they'll distribute it between the main shops over here. So even with my early stages of doing my compilations, they were quite conversations that were happening in the early 2000s. So they were quite instrumental in terms of, they actually came to events that Shekinah put on, I remember. And they were at the back selling records throughout the whole event. You know what I'm saying? Because when you come there and you're hearing Toney's first album and all this gritty stuff, man.
Gosh, Toney,
you know,
bro.
Yo, Toney before you
listen, that guy, like
stupidly talented. But they had access to that to that stuff. They were dealing with directly with America, buying assets from America and distributing it out before the integrity started to take these things serious. So absolutely salute to them. But going to the 90s now, we're looking at the influence of gospel of the US gospel on us, or US rap, but it was still a struggle. It wasn't easy for them.
No, it wasn't. No,
it wasn't easy for in the 90s. It wasn't easy for US or UK rap. Full stop. Or even dancehall is brought into this. Reggae was brought into this because reggae wasn't seen. You know what I mean, as our music. You know what I'm saying? It was only if it was American gospel. When I say American gospel, American sounding gospel, even though it was funky, you know what I'm saying, choir music and whatever, that's the only thing that's accepted, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it was very hard in that time. There wasn't a load of producers. One of the guys that I knew produced music for some of these guys, I'm still friends with him today. I speak with him literally every day. And even now, when you speak to him, he's passionate about music and producing music. But them times there, he won't get no P for it. You know what I'm saying? He was just making them man beats because he loved making beats and giving them the thing to. Because don't forget again, like there wasn't like any Spotify, Apple Music or nothing like that. So guys were just making beats, happy to make beats. Guys were just happy to just go out on stage and stuff like that. They didn't necessarily have the money to create CDs and tapes all the time. But they were happy to go on stage and do whatever else. So, it was very difficult them times. Very difficult, man. I mean, again, I just fell into a very fortunate position with Gifted because he did have his own studio. So he was producing music for our group. He was doing a lot of stuff for us. But there was a lot of guys which didn't have that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And was, we're talking about to the point where people had to be going and buy singles from like HMV or Tower Records and using the instrumentals on those singles to rap over.
Rap over.
You know what I'm saying? Because that was the only way they could get a beat.
And a beat. And
So, yeah.
No, definitely. Because I remember when 99, I did my wife's. She did the track, and it was drum and bass, and it's kind of cool still. Don't wait. For big up to Nicky, man, because Nicky played it on the radio, man, like hardcore stuff. It's a cool tune. You know, it was really, really great track. And I remember, fortunately, you know, we had to sacrifice. You know what I mean? Did a few gigs, used a little money from the gigs, and you talk about you getting. For full band gigs, man, we're getting like little £50, and we put that towards the kids to go to the studio. And we said, right, guys, I said to the guys, right, we could do little mini, literally pub, not much a pub tour, but do little mini tour within our vicinity, make a little raise, and then beg a studio guy to give us Favor, which MPM Records did at the time. You know, shout out to them. And I think that the music that was released at the time, there was no profits. There were there was nobody. Don't let nobody fool you.
There was no profits.
There's no money.
But again, that time you get people, especially when you're talking about gospel rap, maybe gospel R&B in that period. It was very much done for two reasons and two reasons only.
Go on.
One, to preach the gospel. Two, because people just loved making the music. That's all it was. Their passion for the music drove them to places like Birmingham from London. And all this kind of stuff here, right? Producing the tracks, all these things. Not because they had money to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there was pure beggar favor from people that you knew could make a quick beat for you and stuff like that. But again, it was a testament to how tight-knit that community. The rap scene then was very close. I'm telling you, a lot of these guys were very close. A lot of the rappers that you used to see going around in the UK, I can testify to this because I used to join them. We used to meet up on a Friday night and play FIFA. You know what I'm saying? You know, Jahazel, Warrior, SOE, all them man there. We used to meet up and play, not FIFA, Pro Evo. Because it wasn't, even when the music was done, there was still that fellowship. Then man would get together and do a little something. They'll get together sometimes and pray and things like that. So it wasn't like now where you can go to a concert, you'll see artists here, like the artists performing and each one goes to the yard. These times, these guys were working together, so they'll perform and then they'll go back together with each other and do whatever. Sometimes you're playing football with them same man on a Saturday. You know, even if one guy's got let's say a guy from London had got a gig up in Birmingham, you'll get all of them man travel down to Birmingham, even though they're not going to do nothing themselves, just to back that one guy.
Yeah, because the thing is, they had this event which I never really connected to. But I knew all about was Cypher's event in Birmingham, where a lot of the guys came out too, and it was like a really cool fellowship of rappers and stuff. I think I probably felt excluded because I wasn't really a rapper myself or a producer, so I never got accepted in the club, even though everybody wanted to jump on my stage, but at my cost, you know what I mean? Ain't no problem going on the stage and telling me what to do, but you know, such is good anyway. It's a great weapon. Rap is. But you know, you gotta shout out like events like that, and I think we don't bring these events to, you know, even like jamborees. Jamborees actually were cool because that was almost a space where they had so much space that a rapper could get a squeeze in a jamboree. You know what I'm saying? You know, you couldn't get a normal concert, but in a jamboree, it's all night. So listen, you go there while we're doing a changeover. You get on the set. You know what I mean? And so there's elements of that, and I think that, you know, for me, rap and reggae, I would say, reggae dance, or whichever way you look at it. Even though we had great models, you know, in America, like Goatee, we had A1 Swift. You mentioned, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, beforehand, you know, we dropped the bomb. I remember Drop the Bomb. They made tune there.
That was a tune.
That was
a tune.
That came out. I remember. I was at uni then, and I heard that, and that was actually distributed by Gospel Centric, the record label that Kirk Franklin, you know, was part of at the time, and really boosted. A1 Swift, Gospel Gangsters,
Listen,
and DC Talk had a rap. They had that rap album beforehand, but that again, it annoys me and it shows me again, you know, and this is, I don't want to come across racist, but you know, we don't like when it comes to Christian music and just music full stop. If there's a really excellent form done by black people, when we back it, when a white face is doing it, and that still happens to this day. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about skill. And listen, there's some skillful white rappers out there, some extreme. You listen, guys. You know, we just be real. There's loads of them. But what I don't like is that when we just don't get picked. So DC Talk, and the only reason why Goatee got pushed because Toby Mac is passionate about urban music, and he went over there and he was passionate. If it wasn't for his passion, there would be no Goatee Records. It wasn't about a black professional coming into that area. So that's a bit frustrating. That's always been my frustration there. And you had back in the day, I don't know if this was after Bible's Bible, but 29th chapter.
Oh yeah. I think
James Morrison.
Was that before or after?
But a lot of them mans have been around for a while. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
there's names as well that people even forgot about, like Full Immersion. Full Immersion, they were heavy back in the day. MOD, they were good.
Oh yeah.
There's so many guys.
I remember like releases. I remember we talked about briefly, and it's in the garage time. You had the urban release of Fat and Heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That came out about the same time as when I did Gospel for You. And I think just after that was really a great inspiration.
Yeah.
They did. I don't know which came first, but Gospel for You, when I did a lot of just R&B, hip hop and rap, and I remember like Fat and Heavy came out and it had a little bit of a mixed vibe. You had a lot of guys from around the UK, Whitney, you know, artists like Shama Raga. Then he go into like even the small islands kind of approach with the soca vibes, and then Latino vibes, and you had, but it's a lot of garage, that whole garage period. That was a really cool, really cool product. This is way before, bro. This is all happening before.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
And this is what we're talking about. This is about acknowledging the history of whatnot, because I think in order for you to fully understand the sacrifices that were made and to appreciate where you're at now, and also to work on your craft, you have to understand the history of a thing. And I think there's too many artists now in the urban gospel music scene which don't understand the history of the urban gospel scene prior to them. In the UK, there's so much battles that had to be won in order for them to be able to do what they do now.
Yeah, man.
And like I said, half the names we've already mentioned, none of them will know.
Bro,
and it's crazy for me.
It's literally bodies. There's bodies on the ground. Really bodies in the ground. And you know, we're in Affinity Xtra. We want to, like, you know, we don't want to do talk about your story, you know. Yo, Gifted, man. I know, you know, Mark's call you probably got now. Allow it, Mark. I'm reaching out to you. You know what I'm saying? I said, why can't you talk your story? Why can't you come up here and you talk your story and go through your story? You know what I mean? Why you did what you did? Why you took money out of your own pocket? Why you work your job and you know what I mean? Saying, you know, you sacrifice what car you could get, what house you can buy, and all this business for a scene. You go and get the credit cards out. You know, the time it's easy to get credit card out, bro. You know what I'm saying, man? Back in the day, get a quick $2,000 and you put your album on your $2,000. And you get yourself in debt. That's the madness that we were doing. You know what I'm saying? We say madness now, you know what I mean? But people can't even, you know, you can't breathe in people without getting paid. You know what I mean? I remember doing, you know, whenever you release something, bro, you'll go through all the radio stations and try and book interviews, and you just keep on driving, bro.
Yeah. Keep on driving.
I remember driving to London, then driving straight to Leicester, and then driving back home on a Sunday, bro, just to do different radio stations. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? That's another thing, man. The media platforms back there, you know what I mean? The Dave Pease, you know what I mean, of the world, you know what I mean? Lee Grant of the world. All these guys, you know what I mean? I don't know if because he was a great content man. You know what I mean? I remember DJ G when he was on Oxford Radio. And there's so many. I thought there was more radio out then than there is now.
Yeah, there was 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. There was a lot more radio now. I think because radio then was a lot different to now, because there was no online radio per se. You know what I'm saying? You might have to be tuning either the MW or the FM. To get the radio.
Yeah.
So I think it's changed now. So them times, Dave, you wanted to hear what the latest music was, you had no choice but to tune into radio. And because you had no choice but to tune into radio, it created a space and platform for radio to keep pushing more and more music because they had the numbers coming in. Where I think there's still a lot of numbers going into radio now, not as much as maybe back then, but there's online radio now, which is a completely different beast. So you no longer have to... be trying to tune in anything. Artists sometimes don't even have to go to the radio studio. They can do call-ins now. You know what I'm saying? It's not like back in the day.
Yeah, man. It's sacrifice, bro. You know what I'm saying? You have to go to the station to do your
it's not
show.
Like back in the day.
You know what I'm saying? And
Technology
you go there with CDs, man. Big
Technology
massive
is different now.
Bro.
You go there with
blessed.
100 CDs, hoping that you can like give them some and they'll help you pull it out somewhere. Now you just send people your link. You know what I'm saying? It's different now.
The joke is, you know what? Still, yeah. And you got now basically radio on demand. Back then, if you miss it, you missed
and
it.
That
bro.
is the thing as well. Yeah.
Might have to get someone to record it on cassette tape.
It's changed now.
Totally has. And we want to salute them people like Nicky Tap, all these guys back in the day who gave. And I think the radio presenters did give us that platform. You know what I'm saying? I must say, before the churches were saying come and perform at our spaces, it's and not being offensive to the churches, because there's great pastors out there. But I would say, I know that because I was there. When I remember doing GR Live. This is after Bible's Bible. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still people said to me, 2009. Going into 2010, said to me, when I put the lineup of GR Live, because still we have rap events, but you always have singers on the bill. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm the first, but I was probably the first to do it in a sense of a big stage. Like you're taking a big risk, yeah. You know what I mean? So when you had a rapper like a Bottle with the Truth, you have to still have a little singer on the bill. You know what I'm saying, bro? I just went straight up hardcore rap, like rappers all day long, all over the place. No room for no singing. And people said, "You sure? You sure about this?" Nobody would turn up to the show. You know what I'm saying? Sold out show. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Ram out over 1,000 youths on a show. We had to use MySpace to promote. You know what I mean? And I remember some of the youth pastors then look back at the churches, looked at what like the Governor B in the early stages did, and said, "Yo, we're gonna invest into this. We're gonna work with our young. The youngsters are into this, and I appreciate them for seeing that model." But you gotta realize, all them years before that, there was nobody saw value in this thing.
No.
Not until you saw the numbers of young people, and they realized. And this is, bro, this is 15 years in.
Yeah.
15 years of our life, and then people not really seeing the worth of what we're doing.
Like I said, that's why you have to give thanks for those radio people that were there helping back. I remember
back in the late 90s, man.
I remember the stations back in the day, like Choice FM, that were ain't around no more. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Choice FM used to be the to put it in the simple words where people used to see it back then, the black station.
Yeah. Choice FM.
Choice FM was the black station.
Down here. Did you have Buzz in London?
I don't think we had Buzz. I can't remember Buzz now.
I think we had but the thing is, Choice FM, to be honest, Galaxy. sorry. But be careful. Establishment is like tuning in. You know what I mean, through Apple Intelligence. But did you? I remember you had Capital.
Yeah.
No, before Capital, Galaxy. Before Galaxy, what's again? Was Galaxy Choice? Did you have Galaxy? Choice?
We had Choice FM. Choice FM was our thing.
Yeah. We had Galaxy. I'm sure it was Galaxy before that, and man. And obviously we got New South Radio. But what was interesting though, bro? You had DJs that were from Christian backgrounds that you could easily approach. And they will play urban music at the time as well. So if you had some people inside the radio station that are not Christian, but they will play good music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what we'd lean on is and I don't think there's open to that these days to Christian music. I think you might have to hold your lyrics. But when you listen to our lyrics back then, we was listening to some music before the show, and everything's Jesus. You know what I mean? Get saved.
It's a proper preaching thing.
Yeah. But another platform that helped us. Here's one, bro. Cross Rhythms.
Oh yeah, Cross Rhythms. Yeah,
they would review it. Yeah,
you
know what I'm saying. I
remember when I first created my profile on Cross Rhythms, and was like uploading my picture and CD cover and all these kind of things there, right? But yeah, of course, like I said, there was platforms, right? But nowhere near like how many platforms we are now. So when you saw one, you literally had to make sure that you grabbed onto it as much as you can because there wasn't many around anyway.
No, 100%, but 100%. I think that, and I will have to, we shout out people, and I think why I think there's the hardship of really, bro, 10 to 15 years of building up to even be slightly appreciated. They can moan today, but that was a nasty battle, bro.
Yeah,
it was. And there is a lot of church hurt, or industry hurt because of it.
I mean, I told you the other day when we was talking that for me, when I started, there's a lot of people I reached out to because my mindset, since the time I've been involved in music and media, my mindset has always been to work with people, just partner with other people. Let's push something, let's create something. So I reached out to people, and there's people that would not give me the time of day.
Yeah,
you look at them in their face, right, and they go on at their royalty, and you're the scum, to use it that way.
Wow.
And then to have those same people when they realize that I'm set up now, I'm running things, I've got big things going on. Now these people somehow find my phone number without me giving it to them to call me up and try and find out Wagwan. I'm like, I see you. I see you.
Bro, listen, man, I had that with the gospel league, GL Live, bro. Everybody found my number afterwards. But something that, I remember like when I remember doing the magazine and gospel league magazine and I was doing it from I can't remember, my son was just born, so 2004, started magazine. 2004, should have got that far ago. That was definitely before Bible. I remember when I was started off the magazine, and the reason why I did the magazine, going back to what you said, I felt like there was a total voice was missing. From a media's perspective, whatever I sent, the only platforms that we saw print wise was Voice magazine, you know what I mean, which was you send the information through, and it was subject to a viewpoint, and shout out to Marcy Dixon because she's been holding that down for a long time. But at the time, but end of the day, it wasn't reflective for our experience up in the Midlands. So I set it up, man. You know what I mean? I set up a magazine to hopefully open the doors, which should have been a Midlands project, and it ended up being a UK project, because then you find there's suffering going all around the place, and it expands, and everybody's just jumping on his. Oh, you gonna let me talk? Yeah, of course, talking thing. Send your single in. You can listen to it. You can review it. Yeah, man, let's do it. You know what I mean? So I would definitely shout out to people. This is like, guys, this is not. I'm not in the beehive nest here. And I really want people. I think it's really important to document the urban scene, and especially the rap scene, which is a lot of hurt people. I know that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of untruths have gone out there.
Yeah.
So I know. So what you said. So I'm gonna close off. Yeah, on that note, because I want to put it out there. But Marx, in closing, I sound like a church here. But in closing, what would you want to say? Because it could be some crazy, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna let you go and beat up some of your guys, and really, you know what I'm saying? The guys that you in the ministry, and even if you're not in Christ now, this is not about Christians talking. This is about people that that when you. And I understand the hurt that it has when a lot of people talk about I'm doing this in the scene, and they're very disrespectful to what happened beforehand and what's happened. You know what I'm saying? And don't understand the context of how we've got here. For our UK rap scene has actually is in comparison to the US. What you guys have to realize is when you look at the US, the rap scene is massive in the US, but it is in comparison to the gospel R&B, the singing scene. It's still minuscule, absolutely minuscule. But in the UK, the rap scene is the most creative element within UK gospel. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is regurgitating the same thing. You know what I mean? But these guys are continually evolving, being in the age when grime moves, drill moves, whatever. These guys are responding and not bringing out things when they're too old. You know what I'm saying? So, want to shout out to them guys. So I don't know if you want to shout out to two man. They want to call them out right in the station now and do. Oh, you're Charlie. no, but what else would you want to say? Just on in
Yeah, I mean, literally. Firstly, like I said, there's a lot of people out there which are on their grind, producing great music, and still not getting the recognition I think they deserve. I would say keep being seen. I mean, keep doing what you're doing. You are being seen.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You are being seen, even not necessarily by the ones that you might be trying to get attention of, but there's other people which are seeing you, appreciate you, and we would love to get involved with you. So keep doing what you're doing. The second thing I would say is definitely learn the history of your music.
Come on.
Don't just take what you your skill that you have now and try and run with it. Learn the history of it, because when you know the history of something, right, the Bible tells us that people perish for lack of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Get the knowledge. Understand what you're doing, and also not just knowledge of the past, but also understand exactly what you need to do in order for you to get from B and move to A. You know what I'm saying? I know they didn't say A to B, but I'm saying B to A because A is a standard class, is the high class. You know what I'm saying? Just so you got to get into the A. Learn your craft in terms of what you need to do, in terms of the people you need to link up with, the promoters, the radio stations, all that stuff you need to build relationships with. Do that so that you can push your thing. Don't be happy to stay where you are. Constantly look to build and grow and develop what you've got, and bring people along with you. Support each other. That's the biggest thing I'll say is support each other. Don't just be on this it's about meeting. Make it, this is our community, this is about us. What can we do? Let us grow together.
Listen, guys, you still see Snoop Dogg, you still see Dr. Dre, you still see the OGs in America. Why are people just trying to delete the OGs in the UK gospel rap scene? Because, you know, it's crazy. And I think that there is a space. I'm going to say for us, are we OGs now? But anyway, there's a space, especially when it comes to the older rappers and whatsoever. They have an input and a space, production-wise, skill-wise, guidance, discipleship. Their scars will guide you through. You know what I mean? 100%, man. So, guys, this is a very impromptu show. This is a very show that, you know, really sets a scene in the UK gospel scene, which needs to reflect the past. And you could say these guys want to get glory. Listen, guys, I don't really care about glory. Like, listen, when we're dead and gone, everyone's dead and gone. The receipts are the receipts. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I got nothing to prove. The receipts are there. Whether it takes for me or 3 generations on the sea, the receipts are cool. But when you're trying to build legacy, I'm afraid if you spend too much time wanting to be blessed by legacy, you won't actually buid it. So, you know what I'm saying? So, end of the day, still, yeah, guys, if I see the blessing of what I've put in, still, it's cool. But for too often, people of asking color don't understand the ability to build foundation and respect the foundation. We love start again, and nothing gets built. You know what I'm saying? We want to preach about the sand, you know what I'm saying? But all we do is build on sand because we want quick glory, want quick Spotify views, want quick everything, and not realize there's fundamental principles that still apply to today. Yeah. But listen, guys, this is Roger on the Edge Show alongside Marx, one of the representatives of the show. Do check out Marx if you're a young person out there in the mix and you know one don't talk to you, whatever. Trust me, Marx probably played your music, guarantee you. Speak to Marx. If obviously to the big man, them talk to me and we get you on the edge and we get to talk of your story. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a young artist and you're starting out and you want to get seen, you want to, check out our shows with In the Mix. Check out with Mark's there behind it, interviewing, especially these young guys that's coming onto the scene and you're coming through, man. We're here to support you. We have got presenters from different backgrounds here to support you guys here in the UK gospel scene, man. But nothing but love, people. Yeah. Over and out, man.
Hey, this is your Bishop. This is your Bishop from Rock Solid. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for clicking and subscribing and also sending these videos to other people as well. We are so hungry to get your support. So remember, check us out on our website, and also check us out on Insta and wherever you want to find us on Spotify. You can play us all day as well. And just make sure that you are supporting this channel, that we are developing our agenda towards music of black origin, and that is gospel music with a message. So please walk with us on this journey. Bye now.